Well,
But yeah,
I
I
mean,
love.
the reason why I wanted to talk to you is because you're just super talented. I love the new EP. Again, I want to talk a little bit about it before we get into the kind of the cookie cutter stuff at the end that everybody likes. But again, the EP is called All Right. It was released, I think, June or July, right?
All Right was actually released last December 13th, but it was a it was kind of a quiet release.
Okay.
Um, I had like the most beautiful little release party here in New Braunfels. There's a backyard concert series that Rod and Sandy Mueller do. And they held an album release and a listening for me. And they do this for a lot of their favorite artists, where they you sit with all of your group, your audience, and you share a meal, and it's amazing. And then you listen to your album and then talk about it. So it's not necessarily that you're
That's
performing it
incredible.
live.
What a great format.
It's cool because you're
Yeah.
able to go, okay, like hear that harmony right there. That's 16 takes. That's 16 different
Wow.
or whatever. And you can tell people that they
So
wouldn't have
cool.
ordinarily known.
Yeah. So I got two
So that was
questions. I love the Monkey song. Maybe we'll talk about that a different time. But I love that. I totally love that song. But I want to talk about tracks 3 and 4. We've already talked about two.
okay.
First, let's go to track 3, which is "Let It All Go." This is
Okay.
like the '60s vibe,
Yeah,
like the doo-wop, malt shop. Like, where is this
totally.
coming from, Christy? Like,
You
it's
know,
2025.
I don't know. And it's really funny because when I wrote it and I just write it on acoustic guitar, it definitely didn't have that vibe until we got into the studio and David Jimenez is the guitar player and he found this color and this tone on his guitar that just made it so doo-wop. And
Yeah,
everybody in there like, oh, this is it. Like this, it wasn't necessarily, it's not necessarily how it sounds live, although I do have to say it has affected the way I play it live. I play it more doo-wop now.
yeah. See that song, like it's got the Megan Trainor like
Right.
vibe where like she's been doing that doo wop, like return to doo wop, and
Mm-hmm.
other
Mm-hmm.
people have tried to do that and replicate what Megan has done and have failed repeatedly
Right.
over and over again. This is not a failure in that. That song
Oh,
is incredible. Now, man, I can't wait to talk about track 4. This is a cover, a well known cover. Everybody knows this song. You're a phenomenal songwriter. You are married to a phenomenal songwriter and you chose a cover for the record
yeah.
and you only have
Yeah.
5 spots to put on there, so this song must mean a giant amount to you, right? So why did you choose it?
It does. I had been any chance that I could gig with a piano, I had been gigging it, and I would get such every single time I would get like people crying and like, I don't know why, but when you do this song, it really means a lot to me. And to me, it fit the vibe of the other things that I was writing for the CP or choosing for the CP. And so I was talking to Josh about it, and it was between that one and another one called Something Back Then, which is another song I'd written. I have not recorded yet, but it'll probably be in the next batch. Um,
So it's just
and he
about fit. It fit better than one of your songs,
it
essentially.
fit, the vibe of it fit better. It really did. It just, to me, the whole message of that EP is kind of like I am going through a spiritual enlightenment of sorts, or an mm, evolvement of sorts. And so that was just kind of right there in with it. I felt like it fit and I didn't want to discount it just because I didn't write it.
I love that. Yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff, man. Because you know what, a lot of songwriters, you have a very finite amount of space on a record, and records are very expensive as well, as you and I both
Yeah.
know. So when you have the budget for 5 spots, typically you're going to put the 5 things that mean the most to you in those spots. So when I
Right.
saw a cover there, knowing the other 4 songs and the vibe of those songs, I was like, I
Right.
know she has more songs written than just 4,
Oh,
right? So,
yeah. I
yeah.
have.
So I wanted to know, and now I'm going to go back and listen to it in a vibe standpoint and see how it
Yeah.
fits, because that
Yeah.
makes
It was
sense to
just
me.
one of those. Yeah. It just kind of, it was something that meant a lot to me. And this is what's hard about recording an album is it's songs that mean a lot to you at a certain snapshot in
Yeah.
time.
And you have to
And
put
then
some
you
back.
record
You
them.
have to
And
disrespect
yeah,
some of them, right? Yeah.
yeah, you do. And then you kind of evolve past them a little bit, but then you put the record out
Yeah.
and you have to gig the songs and you're like, I've written all these other different songs that mean a lot more to me
And
now.
now you're not in that spot anymore. You're not in that place.
Totally.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, Josh is like, oh, you haven't done All Right yet, or you haven't done Let It All Go yet at a gig, and I'm like, I'm over that song. He's like, these people want to hear it. Like
Yeah.
they just bought your album.
Yeah, you got to sell
So
your EP, Kristi. Come on
right,
now.
I'm just kind of like figuring that out. That like you have to promote your record that you put out.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, these things
That
that
just
have
means
been
you're a
fundamental.
future-facing person. That's all.
I am.
You're looking
I am.
forward.
I guess so. I guess so. And I've been in these songwriting groups that help you to be much more prolific by giving you a song prompt.
Yep.
I think the first one I was in was Bri Bagwell's. And I just think she's so phenomenal as a songwriter and as a person. And she really, for me, got the ball rolling on me writing even when I wasn't inspired to write. And some of the prompts would come in and be so weird. Like one of them was ask the monkey what he knows. And
There it is.
it's what's strange is like, I'm like, this is weird. And then 20 minutes later, I'm bawling writing this song. And it's amazing what these prompts that, seem to mean nothing end up really meaning to you.
Yeah.
And unlocking for you.
It's all about strengthening that songwriting muscle, right? It's like working out at the gym. I love it. And Bri is, I mean, there's no bigger person in my eyes as far as an inspirational standpoint in our scene than Bri Bagwell. It's just second to none. I hope you watch this, Bri. No doubt, you are second to none. Biggest encourager in our scene, no doubt. The things she does, just having her pod, and I told her this on X the other day, just her making the time for her podcast to go out, which is called Only Vans. You guys check that out. Kristi's been on that as well. Y'all go check that out. But just having the time, finding the time to do that. I do this. This is like what I do, and it takes so much time to do this, right? And for her to have a complete career of, on the road, touring and all that, and still finding time to do a podcast and shining a light on artists like herself when she could just easily do her own thing. I mean, it's just such an inspiration to me. And
it is, me too.
Yeah,
she's such a hard worker, and I think when really, really natural talent and hard work come together, that's when you get
agreed.
Yeah,
and she's a star, right? And out of all the stars that I know, she acts the least like a star when you meet her.
Totally, she's the most down to earth, lovable, kind, hilarious person.
Incredible. So, yeah. Man, I've got so many cool stories about Bri that, like, she showed support in me and my show before she even knew who I was. We had our very first interview was done at a studio in Bullard, Texas, and she was doing a show in Lindale that day, and she was going to come in, and she was coming from Houston, so she was going to come in, do the interview, and then go to Lindale. We were kind of on the way, right? So we're nobody we're just a small independent podcast. We're not this huge thing or anything, not terrestrial radio, nothing like that, and but she scheduled this with us in person, which was huge too, right? Because she could have just been like, yeah, we'll do a phone call. It would have been easier for her. But then to come to find out, she had a choice later on to continue doing my podcast, or to go to a terrestrial radio station in that area that wanted to talk to her on the way to Lindale as well. And she could have been on radio promoting that show with a legendary radio, host, and it wouldn't have worked for her to do both, and she still kept to the schedule for us.
That is awesome.
And so I've never forgotten that, 9 years later or whatever. That's the kind of person that Bri Bagwell is.
100%.
Yeah.
That doesn't shock me at all. Like,
Yeah.
so much integrity.
So
Yeah.
just huge, and I've interviewed her probably 4 times since then. She's always so forthcoming. Anyway, let's get into the having fun segments with Kristi. We've gone a little off the rails, which is what happens on this show, and that's okay.
That's fine.
This is why we podcast, guys. This conversation right here with Kristi, we have learned so much from her. I hope you guys, if you are artists and you're watching, take a lot of this stuff because, man, we've learned so much. But let's do this.